Ladies and gentlemen, there's no better way to get up in the morning than to get up with Garrett. Garrett is a third-generation success credentialed real estate entrepreneur who's here to give you tips, tricks, and share stories of success. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Garrett Bedrin. Oh, my bad. Garrett's not here today. He's right here. Garrett Bedrin.
Live from New York. It's Saturday night.
From New York.
All right, Dougie. I am at Mission Critical at the Bedrin office in Glen Rock, New Jersey. Sorry I couldn't be with you this morning, but it has been a week filled of site visits, and we've got a number of deals that we're in the process of selling and buying. And so that precious time of back and forth today, I appreciate you being flexible with me here remote.
Absolutely.
But like always, it's good to see you, and I appreciate everything. I hope you're enjoying. I'll tell you, some of the summer weather has been like spring. It really feels great here in northern New Jersey. I got to be honest with you. I'm very, very happy as we come up to the last day of June. I'm hoping July will bring some beautiful continued weather. And of course, late June means one thing. The kids are out of school. They're done. You know, I know it's not something you have to worry about, but a lot of our friends and families thinking about what they're doing with their kids all summer. And we're fortunate that we were able to send our kids to camp. And I don't know if you have a photo, but our big girl, Juliet, she went to what's called sleepaway camp. Now, if you haven't heard of this before, you're going to think I'm crazy when I'm going to tell you this, but she actually goes there for 7 full weeks and you don't get to see her. And there's a photo of mommy a little bit crying, almost saying goodbye to Juliet. And she did great. She got on that bus and we're getting photos every day. And we're so proud of her. She's having a great summer doing, dancing and softball and theater and ropes courses and the lake. I mean, you name it. I would trade places and do anything to go back to camp. Did you ever go to any type of weekly camp or probably lacrosse camps?
Sports camps. Yeah. I did like sports camps and like recruiting like stuff for college. But yeah, it's fun. It's good stuff.
It's great. And it helps the kids, I think, at a young age get that independence away from mom and dad. And I think you see the kids that go to camp certainly have just a real foot forward when they go to college. They feel really confident about living away from their parents and from their nest. So I'm all for that experience and wishing her well. She's not going to be watching and commenting from camp because it's also
no
good
internet.
Technology. Yeah, for sure.
She's in the woods.
No internet. So wanted to just give you a quick short update. I think in the next couple episodes, we'll have more in-depth photos and videos from Hedges, but man, we're rocking and rolling. I don't know if you have the exterior photo I sent to Dougie.
Absolutely.
Which is you can kind of see in the background, the elevation there, but we are almost finished here with the siding and it's starting to look really pretty. You've got this kind of gray and white and the brick. You've got like a dark gray border on the windows and on the trim. And then of course it's hard to pick up in the photo, but there's a beautiful blue kind of roof parapet piece. And then there's going to be some little blue finishing piece as well. We've gotten a lot of good feedback and compliments on the architecture and it's not one building that's just like a straight line. I think they call that monolithic. It's got kind of these gyrations front and back, which breaks up the materials and the building. And I think that's what people are looking for these days to see something like that. It costs more money, but it adds to the architectural desire and flair of the project. Nice. So coming along well. And do you have any interior pictures? Because we have done sheetrock in a number of units. We've painted a number of units. So this shows okay on the photo, but here all the sheetrock's up in this unit. And you can see the natural light that comes from the big windows. I think we have 9-foot ceilings here. And for those who haven't watched the show before, this is kind of the family legacy project we've been working on for 13 years. We've done some shows on it and we'll continue to update on it. It's 118 luxury apartments for rent, as well as a large self-storage building and a large retail building, which is anchored by Planet Fitness. So very health and wellness oriented. It's called Hedges at Hawthorne. So you can always check out the website, hedgesathawthorne.com. But I'll tell you, when you walk into a construction site and it started as dirt and then cement and then the wood framing and then the insulation, and now you see sheetrock and paint, The sheetrock phase really takes it to the next level. It defines those spaces. Now
Mhm.
you know what it's like to have a large closet, a double vanity bathroom, right? Like you can feel the difference when you
Yeah.
are in the sheetrock apartment. So thanks to our team, we have consultants, designers, builders. We certainly don't do any of this by ourselves. It's been quite a process, and I always forget, Doug. I got to put that little notification thing on my phone. You call it the focus, or so I don't get interrupted during the live show.
The do not disturb.
That's it, man. That's it. I
You
always
can only
forget.
disturb us in the comments section. You want to get a hold of Gary? You got a question for Gary? You put in the comments section. We'll answer it live.
Absolutely. Questions, comments, concerns. Shoot us an email. What's our email address, Dougie? Is it getupwithgarret
Absolutely.
at gmail.com? There it is, right? So
Boom.
send us an email there. Give us a thumbs up if you're on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. All that stuff helps us promote the show. Everything we talk about here is a give back. It's complimentary. It's all free. We're just sharing positive stories with entrepreneurs and great advice about being an entrepreneur, being a real estate investor, things like that. So the more you do that, the more help we can give, the more interesting guests we can bring on. We're working on bringing on some great guests in the future. So I want to talk about what I'm hoping is a future guest. And I want to talk about relationships a little, Dougie, because I think this is critical to being an entrepreneur and being successful today. I had the opportunity 2 weeks ago to go to Game 6 of the Golden State Warriors versus the Boston Celtics for the NBA championship. It was in Boston, so not such a hard drive. It took a little longer to get there than we thought. And so, for those that don't know, my first job after college was with the Golden State Warriors. Dougie, do you remember your first job after college?
Yeah, coach lacrosse.
There you go. There you go. Do you still stay in touch with any of those other coaches or kids that you met in that first job?
Yes, absolutely. So actually, it's great because I coach the Northern Highlanders is down the street. So basically, there's times where like we'll wrap up here in the studio early, and I'll go like help them coach. Like I'll be in the, because like they all know me. I'm still like keep in touch with them. So like I'll like and it's fun because I'm super competitive. So to still be a part of the game and to coach the kids, it's a lot of fun. And I don't have to like be there every day. So I get the best of both worlds.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I started 20 years ago selling tickets at the Golden State Warriors. And at the same time, probably within a few weeks, maybe a month apart, another gentleman started. His name is Brandon Schneider. And Brandon was selling season tickets, just like I was selling season tickets for the Golden State Warriors. There's Brandon and I 20 years ago. And still spiking my hair and the glasses, just a little less now. And we started together and literally made calls, cold calls every day, 80 calls, 90 calls, 100 calls, whatever it was, trying to convince people to buy season ticket packages, mini plan ticket packages for the Golden State Warriors. And we have a third friend as well, Nick Bishop, who we'll introduce to the show in the future. But we started together. And for me, when I lived in California, I kind of view that as an opportunity to learn business outside of my family business. I didn't want to join a family business directly after college and only know the family business. For me, and I'm not saying this is right for everyone, but for me, I wanted to go to another company and see how other organizations are structured and learn about their culture and what's important to them. And I thought that was valuable. And looking back in retrospect, that was very valuable to me personally. So Brandon grew up in the Bay Area and always thought about kind of, being in the Bay Area in his future. For me, I kind of thought about being there for 3-4 years and then I would come home at some point. But I left and I moved home to New Jersey and joined the family business. But Brandon stayed with the Warriors and he worked his way up. And over a number of years, had a lot of successful promotions. And I don't want to go into all of it because we'll hopefully have Brandon on the show and dive into that and his career. But this past July, on his 20th season, he was promoted to the president of the Warriors. There's no higher position on the business side of sports than being the president of the team, unless you're the owner, right? And then you're not a hired gun, as they say.
Mhm.
And so over 20 years, now I have a real friendship. Brandon is a dear, dear friend. He's been to my wedding. He's been to my 40th birthday. We always see each other when he's in town. I sleep at his house when I go out there. But we've kept in touch and kept that relationship going for 20 years with the message of kind of we grew up together and how can we support each other? How can we help each other? He knows I'm always there for him as a friend. He definitely doesn't need me at all on the business side. I'm long gone on that expertise. But I want to talk about relationships because I think people often forget about you are as valuable as, perhaps the five closest people in your network. And it's
Mhm.
not just about you out there and who you work with. It's about who you connect with, who you work out with, right? Who's in your tight group and where have you worked before that you can leverage your future. And so I think it's critically important that up and coming entrepreneurs think about the value of the five closest people in your network and think about their network, right? So
Mhm.
because I knew Brandon, that met me somebody at the Boston Celtics, which meant I got to buy great seats, right?
Mhm.
And because I knew Brandon, we ended up going to the after party and enjoying the celebration. I think I was up to almost 5 in the morning. Do you have the picture
I
of the
got
trophy?
plenty. I got plenty. I mean, this is game 6, right? This is when you're at
So
the
that's
game.
that's Brandon and I at the game after they won. He came over and he's got his championship hat on. There you go.
Nice. And then here's the
What
one.
else?
Here's one that everyone needs to see. This one's real nice.
Is this the money? Is this the
This
money
is the
shot?
money shot right there, baby.
There it is. That's the
Nice.
money shot. That's
Not many
that
people could say they hold that trophy.
2:30 in the that's 2:30 in the morning at the party after the team won, and that's one of my
Mhm.
partners, Louis March, who's a partner of ours. We went together,
Mhm.
um, and it just was. I can't describe the experience of what it's like to go to the after party.
Mhm.
That was just insane, and I did not think that was going to happen. So that was probably other than my wedding, the best night of my life. It's one thing to win the championship; it's another thing to go literally to the team party. Um, so, but what's important is again this concept of valuing your relationships and thinking about who do they know in their network. So I want everyone to think about kind of their five closest, best business relationships, and it may be a friend, by the way, and
Mhm.
think about what five people do they know and how can you connect with them. And look, through LinkedIn, this is pretty easy, right? You just send a quick little note.
Mhm.
But I want the message to be from a place of give, give, give. I always talk about,
Yeah.
the more you give, the more you get. And it's like,
Mhm.
Gary Vee always says like, what, right hook, hook, jab, 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 punch,
Jab,
something
jab,
like that.
jab, right hook.
So my version of that, the Garrett version is give, 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 get, right?
Mhm.
Um, so if you come from a
And
place,
And real
let me just
quick,
finish.
Garrett, because you talk about like reaching out to someone on LinkedIn. Garrett's not talking about like, hey, how's it going? Do you need insurance? Like you get that all the time. Like people who are like reaching out to like, sell you something. No, like actually like check it on your friends and like, have an authentic relationship. The business end will come. You don't have to worry, like that'll all fall into place. But people sometimes will just like go out to their network and reach out to people just to make a sale. Like, nah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Like, I think what I wanted to get to was you're coming from a place of how can I help you, right? It's not
Yeah.
how can I sell you. It's
Mhm.
how can I help you, and that may mean that, you know, you're gonna if they're sick. Maybe okay. Here's a great example. Maybe you heard that they got COVID, right?
Mhm.
So how hard would it be to go onto DoorDash or Uber Eats and literally send them chicken soup from a diner down the street? Like
Yeah.
that'll cost you about $5 or $10 if it's right, not a big
Mhm.
deal. I think that would go a long way, right,
Yeah.
in establishing that relationship. And it's this concept of looking back, like look at your resume, right? We talk about this reverse resume on our show. Where did you really screw up? But I want you to look at your resume and say, where did I work and who did I work for that I should go back to and check in with them and see what they're up to and how I can help them. Let them know what I'm doing and who my network is. Maybe it's a realtor recommendation they need because they're thinking about selling their house.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a summer camp recommendation because their kids, you know, are not sure where's the right camp for their kids because they want to excel in softball, and you happen to know a great softball camp. So that's what I want to challenge people to do, is look back at their resume, and even people that they interviewed with for a job that they didn't get. You know, if you have been on a numerous amount of job interviews, go on LinkedIn, look up those people that you interviewed with, not necessarily the HR person, but the person that you would be potentially working for in your field, and say, hey, just wanted to reach out. Here's what I've been up to. Is there anything I can help you with? I think you'll blow that person away, and you're going to plant those like psychological seeds that that person, you know, you're someone who's authentic, someone that cares, and someone that's willing to give. And I think that goes a long way, Dougie. You agree?
100%, 100%. You know, you should always be reaching, like, find that dream job you want and find the people who work there and just provide value. Like, that's like, it's not common for people to like ask, what can I do for you? They're always like, I want this job, I want to get paid this much, you know what I mean? So when you come and you have that different mindset, how can I help the company? Like, those people are very valuable.
Absolutely. And you're going to get your shot if you start from a place of giving. You know, there will be a time, and I don't know when. I always say play the long game in golf. I have a little golf clinic I got invited to for networking. I'm going to go to later and work on my short game, but play the long game, right? Be authentic and honest about giving. I mean, I've had people that have entertained me and given me things and invited me to things for years without never asking for a thing. But subconsciously, I'm thinking about them in their expertise, and I will be heading their direction when the time is right, you know?
Yeah.
And thankfully, they haven't put on any type of hard sell. You know, we have obviously properties that we're always thinking of buying or selling, and we have investors. And when I talk to potential investors, it's not a sales pitch, because it's basically, here's what my family's doing. We're investing $100,000. We're investing $1 million. We're investing whatever the number is. Here's what we're doing, and here's why we're doing it, and here's why we love this deal. You're welcome to join us in this. I'm just making you aware of it. If you're interested, if it's not for you, I totally understand. But because we are friends, or because we know each other in the network, you know, it's important for me to share these opportunities with you. So I think that's really what I wanted to cover: the value of relationships. And this was a specific relationship that started 20 years ago. A colleague of mine, and actually there's an offshoot to it. I don't have the picture, but I'll try to get it for you next time. The other guy, Nick Bishop, my other good friend who started together, he left the Warriors, worked in some other hospitality companies for sports, and he actually was able to get me Super Bowl tickets for the Giants Patriots in like the fifth row. Now I had to pay, you know, big payment for it, Dougie, but the access, and that was someone who, again, 20-year relationship. Now that was, I guess, 10 years ago with the Super Bowl. So this was a specific example of being playing the long game, not asking for anything, just supporting each other, just being a good friend, just being a good person, you know? So that's what I wanted to update you on. I'm sorry I can't spend more time with you today in the studio. I have to get back over to the Hedges, right?
Nice.
And I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks to have some big announcements. We have a property under contract that we do expect to close by July 15th. So hopefully by our next couple shows, we'll be able to talk publicly about that.
Nice.
I'm under, you know, certain confidentiality agreements.
It's a tongue twister.
It's a mouthful, Dougie.
Confidentiality agreement.
And we also have a couple things that we're selling, and we're in kind of a quiet period where the seller, I should say the buyer, is doing their homework to decide if they want to move forward with the transactions. So I can't talk about that yet either, but I definitely want to update the audience on where things are going with our multiple projects, because I think that's the best way you learn, is by being transparent and understanding from someone who's been doing it for many, many years. And if anyone has any questions about real estate investing, about the projects that we're involved in, overall commercial real estate, again, feel free to email the show, getupwithgarret@gmail.com. You can follow us on my Instagram, which is Garrett Graham. And you can visit hedges@hawthorne.com to see the beautiful photos of the project. And other than that, Dougie, I want to wish everyone a happy 4th of July weekend. This wonderful country we live in. It's our birthday, right? Our Independence Day.
Absolutely.
I hope you be safe and throw a few shrimp on the Barbie for me.
You got it.
Look out for the fireworks. And just remember, everyone, the more you give, the more you get. And we'll see you soon, all right? Have a great weekend. Enjoy the holiday.